guess I'll try to.
You always try and pretend to be my servant.
That's like the fallback. I guess I'll try to move down the hall and just go to the other end of the hall.
Lie for you.
Yeah, so
You're gonna move past the open door where you heard the noise coming from?
I didn't know it was open.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll just leave the
I
talking
guess
to us
I'll listen
two.
longer. See if I hear anything else.
You just stand there stoically with your
Sounds.
imposing visage.
With a dire line and my dire wolf cloak.
Yeah.
Across my arms.
10?
Yep.
As you spend some more time
Aura of good.
there paying attention,
Do you want to use false names?
you can basically you start to piece together the fact that there's probably a game of cards going on
They probably wouldn't know who
in the room beyond,
Even if they found out
and
who
it's
we
all
are,
in very good
they go kill a
spirits.
family or something, how that
There's a
was.
lot of laughter
Yeah,
and
we won't live with
ah,
that
you know, a good time's being had.
clergy.
Sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, I have to see this bard.
Do you want
Alright,
to
I
see
guess-
the bard first?
We gotta figure out your
I'll
second
start
test.
walking by the room
Yeah.
and then act like
See
I
how we do.
didn't notice. Just kind of glance in there and act like I'm lost. And I won't mark.
Okay. So you're just gonna be like walking. I'm like,
Where the fuck am I?
Bubble on it. Then I'll make sure they notice.
as you start to move out of the shadows, more or less, and into the hallway, you hear a door at the other end of the hallway open, and you can hear the sounds of the storm, and then close again.
Okay. Did they already notice me?
You haven't seen anybody.
Oh, okay. Then I'll step back and wait and listen a little longer.
You're gonna stay in the hallway.
One person watching it.
But is there a place for hands
Like,
on the
oh,
wall?
shit.
No,
See shit outside right now,
so they're gonna see me as soon as in just a second.
Assuming they enter the hallway, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you and your Wolfie Wolf
I
want
guess
to
I'll.
do something else, because
I'll keep walking down the
three of
hallway.
us trying to make
You're
keep track of
You're gonna go for it?
shit at the
Yeah.
same time or doing stuff.
As you start down the hallway,
Check the
a large man in armor comes in, and he's obviously hustling, trying to get back to. Well, you would assume he's trying to get back to the game of cards that's going on. And he he sees you, and he's taken aback, and he tries to like immediately go back into like, hey, what are you doing here? Very stern. And at the sound of his voice, 4 other figures step out of the room next to you.
Dead.
I noticed that they're a little uncertain about my presence, and I'm like, hey, I heard there was a game of cards going on. I just wondered if I could join in.
Time to bluff.
Yeah, you can roll a
Sick.
bluff.
That's my chance. 17.
17, huh? The captain of the guard is still looking at you kind of skeptically, but there's not a tall man, but very stout and muscular. He says, it's just one of the servants of the new lord. Let him get in. And the head guard kind of, all right, come join us.
Is that Rondar's Ratfu?
That came in?
Yeah. Okay. Not metagaming.
No, and
Just so I know.
and as Rondar says, well, welcome to the table. It's very low stakes, but we have a good time. And he introduces himself as Rondar. He's captain of the guards. He introduces another man who is significantly younger, but very noble looking, but actually larger than Rondar, taller. He introduces him as, this is Garnell. He's kind of my understudy to be next as captain of the guard. He introduces a third guard who's also he's in chainmail, but his name is Walter. I'm just gonna change it right now. Alright, change that up. His name is Walter. He's just one of the guards on staff. There's an older man
It's gonna be my
who's
dog.
also very. All these guys are very well built, and this guy is the biggest of them. And he says, this is Quentin. He's the ostler. And then he goes to the last man, the man that invited you to the table, and he says, and the man who invited you to the table, take all his money. His name is Devon. He is our blacksmith. And he turns around and grabs a chair from the side of the room and slides it up to the table. He says, ale for you!
Sure.
Pours you a glass of ale, and they sit down, and now you guys are playing cards, and we'll get back to that. Who's next?
Outside dudes is next on the list.
The Rangers?
Yep.
How do you guys plan on exiting the building?
An ale.
The stables are to the east. You can...
Mountain Dew.
Oh, you need a beverage.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember being at this card game.
I'm going towards the servant's quarters.
Oh.
I don't want guys doing it.
You're gonna go west?
I'll
Into
head
the
out.
west wing?
I'll head out east and I'll kind of skirt around that outer buildings.
When you open the door,
So
it's,
that
it's obviously
the-
incredibly miserable outside.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
Good.
In the
Next
west,
slide is
in the west
or maybe
wings,
it's not. Maybe he's just saying
it's obvious on the main floor as you enter the west wing that they're preparing dinner. You can smell and hear the cooking staff is very busy. Cooks don't even really pay attention to your presence. They kind of just are moving in and out of what you would assume to be a kitchen and into a dining room, readying plates and going about kitchenly duties.
My intention is to stake out somewhere in the servant's quarters and figure out guard shift or shift change for the guards.
Sure. So you're just going to continue to wander the west wing until you can see if you can find an exit.
Yes.
Okay, while you're wandering in there and you're kind of trying to stay out, not obviously stay out of people's way, but not be a pain in the ass either.
Well, I'm 7 feet tall, so I
Right.
kind of stick out.
You do overhear one of the maids as they come by. Somebody left a window open in one of the parlors. It's a mess in there. Going to have to clean that up. She's obviously pretty upset about that.
Oops.
Guy, you're outside.
I'm gonna try to make my way to one of the outer buildings and kind of listen to see if there's anyone in there. If there's not, I'll creep in and
To like the stable on the east side?
Any
on
outer-
the east side.
any outer buildings that are
You're-
around.
You have the main building, you have the stables, which are on the east side, which is a fairly large complex. You have the servants' quarters on the west side.
I'll go to the stables.
You're gonna go to the stables, basically.
Mhm.
Are you staying outside, or are you gonna go into the stables?
I'll go in since Jefferson's in there. I have an
Right.
excuse to be in there.
Yep.
So.
Well,
And that's
as you enter it,
Black Widow.
there's
Okay.
a pretty young. He's very much. He apologizes. I'm sorry, sir. Is this your horse that we have here in the stables?
Shat everywhere. I know whose horse it is, but this is my wolf.
Okay, and he says, you're
Big boy, now.
as you're interrogating this
Shaking
young
him.
child.
What do you know of the gem?
Or privately.
Where are the trucks going?
Swear to me!
He through, bumbling words, and it's obvious that he's a little bit shooken up by your interrogation, more or less. He tells you that the his family handles the stables. The ostler is his father, so obviously he and his brothers are tasked with taking care of the stables or helping out. Typically, the only horses they have to deal with are the Lord's horses, which are kept here. However, having a different horse is very nice, especially since the horse that came in with your wolf, very friendly. He very much likes apples.
He's just
The
terrified.
wolf
of
likes
wolf.
fingers and he holds up his hand.
Three-fingered Jeff.
And that's where he originated.
Yep. I'm gonna ask him a few questions
Different
about his
time frame
father
for
and
him.
about the
Wound up on whatever the
the
continent.
Lord, and I'm gonna split a trail ration with him.
Oh, hardtack? You benevolent man. You don't want this shitty cracker.
as far as your offer of the ration, he says, No, Mother made a delicious roast fowl dinner this evening. I couldn't. However,
He eats
we
way
can
better
talk
than
more.
you.
It's obvious that he kind of has calmed down a little bit.
Gold
And more or less, he just, he himself hasn't dealt with the Lord. He has stabled the Lord's horse. It's obvious that, there's been much travel when the Lord goes. The horse comes back, he needs reshoeing. However, it's not poorly taken care of. It's not. The Lord appears to be very benevolent to his animals as well. His father very much likes his position. The boy, however, not so much. He wants to be a magic user. And as such, he tries to spend as much time as he can reading.
I'm going to ask him if
Shoot
he's
that.
noticed any changes, perhaps magical, in the surroundings, the nature over the last few months or so, or anything significant.
Typically, his father doesn't let it. They're not allowed. The boys aren't allowed to leave the grounds. The guards haven't patrolled to the south nearly as much as they once did. However, that could just be because most of the traffic in and out has been to the north.
But dude, did shit get fucky?
So you're having conversation with
Yeah.
the stable boy. It takes time to get this out of him. Belleville, you eventually do find through a hallway that kind of flanks the kitchen a door that leads outside. And obviously you step out into the storm, and
He just looks at the range.
to the west you
Right.
can see the south
Did you
end
stop that?
of the servants'
Sorry.
quarters.
I'm going to.
And to the
Playing with the dice
further
makes
south of the
fall.
servant quarters is a building with what appears to be kennels.
Go to the kennels.
Tracy.
Yeah, you can meet whatever dark dude.
No, thanks.
Can't talk to
Francis
him
Dark.
anyway.
I'm making it, which I can't imagine would be too hard to make an attempt to hide. Find a spot that I can watch those doors and the kennels at the same time. Just kind of be on post.
You're welcome anywhere on the grounds. I mean, yeah, it's weird that you'd be outside in the rain, but you're a ranger. That's not that odd. And you're 7 feet tall, and you
It'd
don't
also-
talk, so.
It'd also be weird just be standing in a rainstorm in the middle of the lawn, just staring at windows. So
Just, I missed my eagle.
kind of want to not be seen. So
No, that's fine. You can find some place that's kind of out of the way and in the shadows. And
Oh, I suppose it's us now.
yes, indeed.
Alright. We're all bathed and
Banana
Talk
sandwich.
to the proper and
I'm gonna talk to the lion about the sword. Like, does this look familiar to you, buddy?
show me your
Buddy.
sword.
buddy.
he smacks you.
You can see, like, he's struggling to try to remember. But he
welling in
can't.
his eyes.
There's obviously something blocked.
Okay.
And he says, it feels strangely familiar.
Maybe the key is you have to stab him with it. It will unlock
Yeah.
godly powers.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's just the way.
Tomadril's
Here, just let me
as
stab
he's
you with this.
moving about, when we do move about, he's gonna keep an eye on looking at the serving wenches to see what kind of quality they are. Anyone batting eyes at them? Anyone?
As you travel, you actually don't see that many. In fact, typically you only see 2 that are kind of traveling about it at this time, because it's getting into the evening. It's getting dark outside, and
It's scale of 1 to 10.
11.
About a
One is
6.
probably a 5. One of them is probably a 9.
9? 9? Done.
You go up and grab their ass and be like, find stock.
No. Tomadril is going to be his usual, well, not usual, but try to be his suave self, playing the generous lord who's, yeah, of course, he's pretty. Got 18 charisma. He's probably, well, what would that be? On a scale of 1 to 10, 14?
And
18.
18
Very-
charisma. Well, 18 charisma doesn't mean that you're pretty. It just
You're
means that
s-
you can be
sexual
smooth with
transference.
words.
Yeah. But I'm fair skinned.
Make you a goddamn sexual.
Blue-eyed, long hair.
High cheekbones, angled features.
Basically,
I'm gonna try and seduce, not like overtly, like, hey, wanna fuck, but you know, like a lord would, you know, be playful with the 9.
Would thou like to bone?
Okay. It's obvious she's very, very shy.
Mhm.
I mean, she's 17, which
Yeah.
in D&D terms is ripe age.
Yeah. Sleight of hand, summon my instrument, and then play her a little ballad and then make it disappear.
Okay.
A little bit
Uh,
Fit in
Obviously,
with a
it's intriguing to her.
Sploosh the room floor.
The story of Tomadril.
That's how it's getting written.
Yep.